Dear students, now in this video we are going to discuss about 12th standard computer science chapter 7 Python functions part 1. So we already discussed what is meant by functions in first chapter. Can you able to remember what is meant by subroutines and what is meant by functions? We just recall that concept here. Okay, so functions are the named blocks of code that are designed to do specific job. That is, functions are the small unit of code that is used to do some specific job. Okay, so it is used to perform a small task. If you want to process a very big problem, if you want to solve the problem, then you have to divide that problem into smaller one. Okay, that small problem can be solved by using this function. So functions are the unit of code. Okay, what is meant by program? Programs are the set of instructions. Okay, functions is also having set of instructions. Small set of instructions is known as the functions. It is used to perform a small task. Okay, that is specific job. Group of related statements that perform a specific task. Okay, so functions have the group of related statements. We already know what is meant by statements. Each and every instructions written in a Python programming language is known as a statement. Okay, so functions is having group of related statement that perform a specific task. Okay, so now you can see what are the advantages, why we need a functions, what are the advantages of functions. Okay, so it avoids repetition and makes a high degree of code reusing. If for example, if you want to process the same thing again and again, no need to write a code repeatedly. Okay, so once you write a function, you can call that function whenever we need to process that same thing. Okay, so if for example, if you want to process the factorial problem, okay, so npr equal to ncr factorial or n factorial or factorial, like that we are using. No, if you want to calculate the factorial for that given number, we just generally write one function factorial. Okay, whenever we need to calculate factorial, that time we just invoke this function factorial for doing the factorial calculations. Okay, so we can pass the value of n or ncr, whatever you want to find the factorial value, we just pass parameter to this factorial function, then you can able to find the factorial value for that given number. Okay, so this type of functions is used to avoid the repetitions. So no need to write same code again and again, we just write one function, whenever we need that task we just call this function and do the process. Okay, so and then it provides better modularity for your applications. We already learned what is meant by modularity. Modularity means a sub program. Okay, a small program or sub programs is known as the modularity. So functions is used to provide a modularity. We can execute a function separately, and whenever we need, we just invoke that function to your source code. Okay, so what are the two main advantages of using function? It is used to avoid repetitions of the same code, and then it provide the better modularity for your applications. Okay, your application programs, it provide the better modularity. So there are different kinds of application functions used in Python programming language. Now you can see one by one what are the different kinds of functions used in Python programming languages. Okay, so there are 4 different types of functions is there. That is user defined function, built-in function, lambda function, recursive function. In 11th standard, we studied about what is meant by user defined function and a built-in function. Yes, the same thing here also repeated, user defined function and a built-in function. In this Python programming language, we added one new function, that is lambda function. Okay, recursive function also we already known. Okay, we just see one by one. Okay, so what is meant by user defined function? The function can be defined by the user. Okay, so a function can be created by himself. That function is known as the user defined function. User can create their own functions. Okay, that function is known as a user defined functions. Now you can see the descriptions about this user defined functions. functions defined by the user themselves. Okay, the user can create their own function is known as the user defined function. And then built-in function, we already know built-in functions is also known as fundamental functions. Okay, basic functions. So these are the functions is already defined in the Python programming languages. Okay, so built-in functions, now you can see the description. Functions that are inbuilt within Python interpreter. Okay, so these functions are already defined with the Python programming language. We just invoke that function and use it. If for example we are using input function, print function, yes, int function, so these are the built-in functions. We just invoke that function and use in your source code. Okay, what is meant by source code? Source code means the high level programming language codes are known as the source code. Okay, now you can see the lambda function. So what is this lambda function? A function that are anonymous, unnamed functions is known as a lambda function. That is, when you define a function without a name, a function without name is known as a lambda function. Okay, so that is given as anonymous function. Okay, that is unnamed function is known as the lambda functions. Okay, and then recursive function. Recursive means repeating something again and again. Okay, so functions that calls itself is known as recursive. A function can make a call itself is known as a recursive functions. Okay, so now we can see these functions one by one in detail. So what are the different kinds of function used in Python? There are 4 different kinds of function. What is it? User defined function, built-in function, lambda function and recursive functions. Okay, now you can see one by one in detail. Okay, function, now you see how to define a user defined function. Okay, how to define a user defined functions. So function blocks begin with the keyword dep followed by function name and a parenthesis. Okay, so what is the keyword? If we want to create a user defined function, then we must use a keyword def. Okay, after this keyword you must specify the name of the function. What is the name you are given to that function? After the function name we just put parenthesis. Okay, so if you want to pass any parameters, you can pass that parameters within this parenthesis. Otherwise we just use a empty parenthesis. Okay, so after finishing this function definition we just put colon. Okay, now you can see this one by one. So any input parameters or arguments should be placed within this parenthesis. Okay, so after the function name what you have to write? You just write a parenthesis. Okay, so within this parenthesis you can pass input parameters or arguments. We already know what is the difference between parameters and arguments. Parameters are the variables defined in the function definition and arguments are the values passed to those variables. Okay, so either if you want to pass input parameters or arguments, we can pass within this parenthesis. Okay, when you define a function, the code block always comes after a colon. Okay, so the function definition statements can be written after the colon. Okay, that is, if for example if you define a function def is the keyword and then leave one space and write a function name. Now I am writing the function name is fact, fact. Okay, and then I will put the parenthesis and write the parameter int a. After writing this and then I will put colon. Okay, after this colon only you have to write the function definition statements. So what process you want to do, that processing statements you have to write after the colon. Okay, so the statement written within bracket, within square bracket, you just specify the expression. Okay, so written expression exits a function, optionally passing back on expression to the caller. A return with no arguments is the same as return none. Okay, so when the function is finished, you can write a return statement. So when you finished your function, at last you write the return statement. This return statement is only optional. Okay. So if you want to specify the return with value, then you have to write a statement return expression. Okay. Otherwise, if you no need to send any values to the calling function, then we just write a return statement alone. Okay. So you can able to write return with expression, or we just write a return statement alone. When you need return with expression means if you want to send back the value to the calling function, then we can write return with expression. Okay. Otherwise, if you want to transfer the control alone, then we just write a return statement alone. At the last line of the function, you can write this return statement. Okay. Otherwise, if you want to return a control in between a function statement, then we can include return statements. Okay. Whenever we need to pass back to the calling function, then we just write a return function, return statement. Okay. So now you can see the syntax for user defined function. Now you can see what is the syntax. We already know what is the meaning of syntax. Syntax means set of rules used to write your program code. Okay. So now you can see what is the keyword you must specify. Def, D-E-F. This is the keyword. After writing the keyword, we just leave one space and then write a function name. Okay. So after writing the function name, we just put parenthesis. Within this parenthesis, you have to specify the parameters. Okay. So parameters are optional one. That's why these parameters are specified with the square brackets. If you want to pass any values, then you can use your parameters. Otherwise, we just to put empty parenthesis alone. Okay. Is it clear? So why the square bracket is given within this parameters? These parameters are optional. If you want to pass values, then we can use your parameters. Otherwise, we just to put empty parenthesis. Okay. After finishing this, at last you must put colon. Okay. So after this colon only, function block statements can be written. After finishing this one, and then write return and then expression. Either we can return a expression, or we just write return statement alone. Okay. Return none. Now you can see the example. Def. Here def is the keyword, and then hello. Hello is the function name. Okay. So name of the function is hello. Here I didn't pass any parameters to this. Okay. That's why I just to put empty parenthesis here. After writing this empty parenthesis, just to put colon. Okay. And then write print hello Python. Okay. Here the print statement is used to display the content on the monitor. I just print one message, that is hello Python. So print hello Python. We already know the string content can be specified within the double quotes. Okay. Either we can use double quotes, single or triple quotes. Okay. So print hello Python. And then we just write a return statement. This return statement is used to return the control to the calling function. Okay. So here the print statement is indented within this function. Okay. So because the statement is inside of this hello function. Okay. For that only we just indent this print statement. Okay. Is it clear? Here you can see here specified block of statements. So what is the meaning of block of statements? Means set of statements. Okay. So a block is one or more lines of code grouped together, treated as one big sequence of statements while execution. Okay. So that is set of statements is known as the block. In Python, statements in a block are written with indentation. We already know the term indentation. No? What is the meaning of indentation? Indentation means we just leave space and write the statements. Okay. So indentation is used to specify the where the content can start, where it can be end. Okay. In C++ we are using the curly braces. Here there is no curly braces. Instead of using curly braces, we are using only the indentation to specify the block of statements. Okay, so a block begins when a line is indented by 4 spaces, that is one tab space. Okay, so indentation, first indentation it have 4 spaces, that is one tab space, and all the statements of the block should be at the same indent level. Okay, so one set of statements you just write a same indentation level. Okay, so nested blocks means a block within a block is called a nested block. Okay, we already know no nested for loop, nested if statement, that is a statement within another statement is known as nested. Okay, so when the first block statement is indented by a single tab space, the second block of statements is indented by double tab space. Okay, so we just leave a tab space, one tab space is equal to 4 spaces. Okay, so double tab space means 8 spaces. So first block is indented by one tab space, and then second block of statements is indented by double tab spaces. Okay, is it clear? So in the next class we discuss about remaining topics. Okay, students, thank you.